Hawkman, issue 27, Robert Venditti writing,
Yeah.
with Fernando Passarin on the art. Matt can't contain his excitement. Please take it away.
That's because it's like the best book every month.
This is a quick jaunt to the JSA. We know there's only 3 issues after this left.
Including
going
this.
to 30.
No,
yeah,
I
so
think 29 is the last one, isn't it?
29 is the last one. So we don't get a lot of the Justice Society, but the main crux of it is that now that Hawkman realizes he can die,
He's terrified of dying.
Everything, right? Because now this is his last life, right? And he's got to beat the game. And I love that, but
this idea of every time he was in battle before as the JSA, JLA, whatever he was,
wherever he was,
he was fearless in battle because he's like, if I die, I die. I'll come back. Don't worry about it.
He's playing with house money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now there's actual stakes. Now it matters. It's like, shit, do I want to be doing this?
And so we get the Justice Society fighting, I would say, the Injustice Society. And just, this is why I love Venditti writing these characters. He just gets the team dynamic of this era, because I brought up Freedom Fighters the last time, and it's very similar. There's this pulpiness to them where they're definitely out of time down to the dialogue, but it works. And yeah, just the stuff with Wildcat fighting Huntress, who was not the Huntress I know, so that was new. You know, just like the I'm not going to stay down stuff, and
just really just classic 101 Wildcat beats.
Yeah,
and that's pretty much what it is for all of them here. That like Alan, he shines, not because of his green light, but because of his heart. I think it was.
And I'm wondering if this is going to play into if he took the Tynan characterization of the tweak that Tynan made in the Green Lantern.
I very much suspect that is the case.
Because for him to say something like that he shines because he's him, not just because of the ring, I like that. That adds another layer to Alan Scott. And of course there's Jay getting to be Jay, and Dodds Sandman. I need to read more of him. I love that concept.
Yeah, it's great. And this is like you get like one beat of each of the team each. And so you can't do anything particularly deep in this issue.
No.
And maybe ultimately not in the rest of this run because there's not enough time to really explore the JSA, unfortunately, in 3 issues. But you get just enough to be like, yep, okay, this is why this is the team.
Yep, and you get a nice combo with convo with Hawkwoman and him, that they don't appear as we see them. They appear in their traditional.
We see them in their, how we've seen them all run, and that's how they see themselves. That's how they see each other.
Right.
But if they look in an actual reflection, it shows what the world sees, and it's the look of the time.
And that Carter realized that this day would come. He doesn't realize it'd be so soon. That he thought he had a whole lot more,
Yeah, there's a part of him like he says he thought part of him believed that he'd never atone, so he was just he'd never actually confronted the reality that this might happen someday because he'd never actually expected it.
And yeah, so elsewhere we get this weird beat of this dark house in a saber, and I'm like, oh man, this is the thing that set it all off with Khufu and stuff. And we get their conversation, and then towards the end it looks like someone's doing a dark ritual with this dagger or saber, whatever it is, that this time there'll be no rebirth, and it looks like it's half set.
That's what I thought. Yeah,
gonna send them to their final death, which if I had to guess, this just starts the reincarnation over, right? You can't do Hawkman without reincarnation.
Yeah, right? Obviously writers, they like to play with the toys and do things, but a lot of the time they put things back where they found them for someone else. And I think there's a lot of things you can change about Hawkman and the current situation. You can leave them in this is the life now, play with it. But I think the core reincarnation aspect probably has to stay.
Yeah. Well, and the fact that you're bringing the Egyptian stuff back into this, and that's kind of where it started. And Venditti had changed it just enough that it's always been, and it was through time and space, which was fun.
Yeah. But now
and
we
so,
did all the time and space, and now we're doing Egyptian stuff again.
and now
It's
we're
gonna,
back through the time. It's like Hawkman himself. It's just going to keep reincarnating.
yeah,
Right. This
it's
is
a nice
just the
cycle.
character through the multiverse that he keeps reincarnating because that's what the multiverse needs. But yeah, just the art. Pasarin does each of these characters. There's a cleanliness to the art that's just been here that really lends itself
It
to the
feels
Justice Society.
even cleaner than it has done in previous issues. I don't know if that's intentional, like, that he is playing it up for the, it's the 40s JSA stuff.
Right.
But it is so clean, really tight inks.
Right.
It's
and just
wonderful
like
stuff.
his J, it's a combination of Flash stuff, but also Flash of that time, which was drawn as multiple versions. But also there's the Speed Force lines going through him, which is real cool.
I like how he never draws J all issue that I can think of without a smile.
Right.
Like every single panel.
I mean, when he realizes that it's a mirage because he's fighting
sure,
Braithwaite,
that one moment where
maybe
something
that
goes
realization.
wrong. Yeah.
But yeah, he's just enjoying life, and then Sandman and how everything's obscured, but it's still clean.
I actually really like the lettering on Sandman.
Yeah.
His
Which
bubble
gravelly.
is not neat. It's gravelly. It's a little warbled. And that translates to the letters as well, not just the bubble. Not enough that it ever makes it difficult to read at all. It's like still very easy to read. You don't even think twice about that. But it's just different enough that you feel the different voice that he's got to everyone else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a really great splash single page of Hawkman just taking it to Per Degaton, smashes his hand, and you can see the impact with the mace by the way that it bends the barrel of the gun that's on the ground, and then just gives him the what for. This won't last forever.
Gorgeous stuff. And then Jeremy Cox's colors as well, especially in the stuff going on with the the ritual and in the dagger and all the Egyptian themed rooms. Gorgeous red fire glows. It's the colors are great throughout. They're always really clean, bright, vibrant, but not like shiny like they can sometimes come across as. But those other scenes really stood out in particular as just being brought to life by the colors in the way that a lot of the rest of it isn't. Not because the colors are bad, but because they're not the focal point. But they give it so much extra depth in those pages.
I'm gonna miss this book so much. This is the best book that DC's been putting out for at least the last year.
I mean,
I would say.
Yeah, it hurts. This is coming to an end.
Yep.
I'm there for whatever Venditti does next, especially if it's to do with any of these characters. I'm doubly there, but
just the fact that his name's pretty prominent in the solicits this month.
It's promising, yeah. Honestly, Venditti is the biggest hero story of Rebirth for me.
Yeah.
Coming into Rebirth, I was like, I don't really like Venditti a lot. I didn't really like his Green Lantern at the time. I didn't really like his Flash at all. But I'd liked his Exo Man of War for Valiant, and I know he's capable of stuff that I like, but I was worried that maybe he wasn't capable of stuff that I liked in the DC universe. And then I was reading Hal and Pals, and it turned out actually it's just his Hal I don't like. I like the rest of his Green Lanterns. And then
his Flash was really rough, but I also put that on editorial. A lot of stuff that he was doing just seemed like it had to fill a certain void, and putting him with Wallace or putting Wallace with him, and it wasn't all well thought out. And I came into Rebirth not liking Venditti, but then Hal and Pals, going back and reading that, just again the team dynamics. I should have brought that up too. His team dynamics in Hal and Pals was there. I mean, we got Guy and Arkalo's bromance.
So good.
There, and the 4 corpsemen, and he's just whatever he does, I'm there with. Also, as Freedom Fighters, again, if people haven't gone back and checked that out, it's worth the read.
I do need to read the rest of that. I think I fell behind because I missed a week and I had 2 weeks worth of stuff, and that was it was a separate book, so it was the easiest one to justify. Going, well, I'll leave that one, and never got back to it. But I did enjoy what I read, and I do plan on reading it all at some point. Especially now that I'm a Venditti fan. So
yeah. Oh yeah. All right, Connor, rate it.
For the third issue of Hawkman in a row, because I checked my records earlier. Another 9.
Man, I don't like when we line up, but I'm also giving it a 9.
We line up a lot on Hawkman.
We do, but that's because we have good taste when it comes to dogs.